Hi, everyone. Okay. How are we doing today? I'm just going to wait. I'm definitely going to wait for some people to get on here before I get started. And I want to welcome you to the first Pure Heart Online Temple. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Jasmine. So yes, welcome to the first online temple. So let me talk about for a second why I'm doing this, and then we're going to get into today's teaching. So part of my journey when I was working on healing and learning and getting certifications and deciding whether I was going to, what I was going to do, if I was going to build a practice or what I was going to do. Good morning, Carly. One of the things I did do was become ordained as a spiritual reverend from a seminary in the States. So up until now, I really haven't done anything with that ordainment. And people who know that I'm ordained have said, why don't you start a spiritual church? Why don't you do this? And I've been just kind of like back and forth. How do I want to do this? I'm so busy already. Like, to take on something that big that's a big undertaking. So I decided to do an online temple instead. And the beauty of this online temple, as it would be if it was actually a physical temple, would be that everyone is welcome. I don't care about the color of your skin. I don't care about your culture. I don't care about what religion that you practice on a day-to-day basis. None of that matters because I am non-denominational. I don't see the differences in anyone. So because of that, that's today's teaching. Good morning, Brandon, is about embracing the differences. So being that it's our first one today. Hi, Jackie. It's our first one today. I want to talk a little bit about how we've ended up here. Like my hair. What am I doing? How we have ended up here. So let's talk about this for a second. Back in the day of shamanism, it was all based around earth medicine and spirit. They had the three worlds, the underworld, the lower world, the middle world, and the upper world. And the lower world was not hell, and the upper world was not heaven. It was just levels, meaning usually the power animals came from the lower world. The middle world was where we were, and the upper world were all the teachers, the teachers in human form were. And out of shamanism came Wicca. And Wicca, some of you know as witches, was never meant to be a black magic. It was always meant to be something that was helping and healing and was filled with rituals, as shamanism was too, filled with rituals to help people, to help the earth, to help people become their potential. Because the belief was if you sent bad energy out to people, if you wished bad things for people, if you tried to manifest bad things for people, you would get it back threefold. It wouldn't affect them, but it would just come right back to you, and you would get it back 3 times worse. So that Wicca, if you think about it with everything that we know about law of attraction, what do you think those spells were? I mean, nobody really turned anyone into a goat, okay? So what do you think those spells were? Law of attraction. It was people, women, men, witches, warlocks, whatever you want to call it. Those are our words, by the way. Those were words that were created by people who were fearful. But those people from that society, that coven, that tribe, were trying to make things better. And with everyone wanting the same thing, with everybody putting their energy into the same thing and believing in the spirits that it would happen, then it's perfect law of attraction, right? So how they did this was purely through law of attraction. A little bit further on, things became illegal because people are afraid of what they can't understand. And because they couldn't make those things happen, they were like, well, this can't be real. And what are those people doing? And they are witches and we have to hang them. And, we came into a time of fear of spirituality, fear of the universe. People didn't understand it. They couldn't put their heads around it. If you can't see it, then it must not be real. So that's where we ended up going. And anybody who was outside of that was hurt. It went a little further into anybody who was of a different color, everybody who was of a different religion, anybody who was from a different culture, right? All of these people were cast out in various ways throughout our history. And in our history, we were always told who to hate. And now we can like these people, but we have to hate those people. And now that we like those people, now we have to hate those people. And our whole history is built on hating people. Our whole history. Good morning, Joanne. Good morning, Brandon. Our whole history was built on creating and segregating and discriminating and anything that I shouldn't even say we, because I would have been one of the ones that was segregated, because I came from a side of the world that was not considered white. So I also would have been segregated. So people feared anything that was different, anything that they didn't understand. In the 60s and in the 1950s, it was really bad. In the 1960s and 70s and the 80s, people started to understand that there was something else happening. But still, there was so much fear around it that they still couldn't step into it. Some people did, especially, in the hippie era, right? In our hippie era, some people actually did, and they would, smoke their joints and dance their dances and end up God knows where, and meditations were starting and people were connecting. It was starting. All right. We were starting to understand a little bit about who we were, about who we are. Right. Good morning, Renee. As we moved into the 90s, we started to go back a little bit. Go back into the 50s, into that secular way of being, because people were really on the fence. To believe there was something bigger out there would be a big, huge transformation and change. That was one of our biggest shifts, I think, right? Was because people wanted to believe, but they couldn't understand it. And if they can't understand it, then it was a difficult thing to make the skeptics believe. Okay? And skeptics are really just people who they get stuck in their way of being. They can't open their minds. And if you can't open your mind, what does that mean? Whether you want to admit it or not, but people who are closed-minded are afraid. They are afraid. And I'm not saying that in a way of blaming them or putting them down. They're just not ready, right? They're not ready to accept. And that's okay. Not everybody is ready all the time. It takes time for some people to grasp it. People have different levels of fear, and that's okay, right? Because we've grown up in a society where fear is something that we are taught. We're not taught to love and to be open, right? We are taught to fear from a very young age. Don't talk to that person. Don't talk to that person. Don't play with them. Don't do anything that's different. Try and be like the norm, be like everybody else. I remember when I could first see things when I was a child, and I told my mother about it, and I actually could see things moving. And I remember asking to see, especially, I remember very distinctly in my teenage years asking to see my grandmother after she had died. I wanted to see her. I missed her. And I was standing in my bathroom, and the bathroom door was behind me. And behind the bathroom door were some towels. And I actually saw one of the towels go up and then down. And I was like, what? So when I had told my mom these things, it was all about don't be deaf, don't be different. You're bringing the devil into your life. This brings me to another point. So when I was a kid, and you know when we had to do speeches in school, like, do you remember when we had to do these speeches in school? And there was like, "Hi, Leanna." There was it was a whole school thing. I don't know if you guys had it, but we did, and we had to write these speeches for the whole school. And if your speech was really good, you could go out in front of the whole school and say your speech. So my speeches, year after year after year, were about discrimination. I never thought about it until this morning and last night when I was sitting down really trying to consider what I was going to talk about in this first temple this morning. And it's about discrimination. I think it's one of the biggest things that sets us apart in so many ways. Because in this shift, in this awakening, what we're understanding, what we're learning to understand is that we are all fingers off the same hand. You guys have heard me say this. I am connected to people of color. I am directly connected with people from different cultures. I am directly connected to, you ready for this? Aliens. Why? Because energy is one big thing. It is one big entity. Talk about it like, you can call it God. For the sake of temple, I will always call it source. And the reason for that is because people have so many names, and I don't want people that come here that start to join this temple that believe in Allah that won't come because I'm saying the word God, or people won't come because I say the word Allah or Buddha or whatever we say, because it's a name. All it is a name. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. You can call it higher power. Good morning, Lou. Good morning, Amy. It doesn't matter what you call that bigger energy. But for the sake of temple, you will always hear me call this energy source. And we all come from source, and we are all connected to source. And each and every one of us is a thought of source. Each and every one of us is a thought. I am a thought. Leanna's a thought. Joyanne's a thought. Brandon's a thought. Amy's a thought. Everybody is a thought of source. No one of us, it's like we're all branches off the same tree. So to hate someone, to fear someone, to hurt someone is to fear yourself, is to hurt yourself, is to be unkind to yourself. And that is painful when you think about it. Just to say that makes me want to cry, because it's like, how can we do this? We're so much better than this. We're so much better than this. And it still happens. I think the shift, part of this big shift that's coming, is we're already in it. And that is that people are starting to wake up. People who never believed, people who were skeptics, are starting to wake up. But yet there's still religions. Now, here's my thought on religion. I believe that everybody believes what they want to believe, what brings them strength and what brings them power, and that is amazing. However, the one thing that I will add to that, the one thing that I will ask you is that understand that those religions, those books, those teachings were taught in a time where we don't know what we know now. So take what you believe and expand it. How can you make it bigger? How can you make it better? How can you bring what we know now that can't be denied into your religion? How can you do that? You can. And the challenge becomes, how are you going to do it? To give yourself some time to meditate on that, to give yourself some time to bring love into that thought and be like, okay, so I don't want to give up my religious beliefs, but how do I expand on it? We're also of a time that says there's no heaven and there's no hell. I hate to say this. This is my personal belief, because there's no fire and brimstone place that we go to. We carry heaven and hell with us wherever we go. It's based on the choices that we make in each day. Our life can be heaven and hell on this earth based on the choices that we make. If this is this container, and inside this container, through every cell of this body, is this wonderful source running through it. Now I've got another little surprise for you that I've never said before that I'm going to say now. For every yin, there's a yang. For every positive, there's a negative. For every plus, there's a minus. So what does that mean? The universe is built of this yin and yang. It is not all positive, because in the atoms, the electrons, the protons, the quarks, the energy, there has to be two sides. So yes, there is a positive and there is a negative. That's how we get filled with that negative emotion sometimes. That's the fear, right? Where you think that comes from. You want to call it the devil? You want to call it that inner critic in your head? We carry around this positive energy within us. That's our gut voice. But then we have this other voice. So we are walking around. Remember those old pictures? I don't know if you ever saw them. Sometimes you'd see these photographs with a person sitting and they would have an angel and a devil on their shoulder. We basically, this is us. Because we have this wonderful light, beautiful energy inside us. But we also have this other energy. And between the two of them, we have free will. It's like we are in the middle, and we're listening to one energy and we're listening to the other energy, and we have to make a choice. And those choices are what we make in every moment of our lives. When we want to hurt people, when we want to hang people, when we want to go into a school and shoot up a bunch of children. Those choices are choices that we make in every single moment of our lives. So heaven and hell, right here. Every moment of your life. So you have to decide, are you going to stand with your angel? Or are you going to choose the side of our devil, so to speak? Most of us, unfortunately, 98% of the population of the world, 98% of the population of the world choose to stand with their devil. But they will, many of them will be talking to you about be positive, do this, do that, but they don't live it. They don't live it. They can say the words beautifully, but they don't live it. They don't walk the walk. They talk the talk, though, but they don't walk it. So my big hope, no, I hate the word hope. My big desire for Temple, this Pure Heart online temple that I'll be doing every Sunday, is that whoever comes here, to start walking the walk. Don't just talk it. I want you to walk it. And I can't expect you to change that overnight, but think of the choices that you've made in your life. Forgive yourself for those choices that you've made that have been unkind, those choices that you've made that have hurt other people, the choices that you've made that have hurt yourself, and move forward. The beauty of energy is that it has no concept of time. It doesn't look at what has been. Do you know what that means? That means that every moment of our lives is a fresh start. Every moment is a fresh start. You can choose to change at any time and just move forward. And energy allows you to do that. It's us, our free will, that keeps us trapped in the back. Every moment is a fresh start. So take that fresh start and start doing things with your life that matter. Heal yourself. Find out what your potential is. Spread kindness into the world. Do things that you wouldn't normally do. I helped an old woman, I remember this, and I helped this old woman with her, she was standing in front of me at the grocery line, and I heard her say, I only have $36.30 for my groceries. So please make sure that my groceries don't go over that. That's what she said to the girl, the cashier. And I already had my wallet ready for whatever amount she went over. Because I looked at her cart and I thought, that looks like she's going to go over. So she was paying for her groceries. But the girl who was bagging her groceries were taking the cans and trying to throw them on top of the hot dog buns that she bought and stuff. So I actually reached my hands over and grabbed the bags. And I was like, what are you doing? And I rebagged everything. And I started putting it in the woman's cart. But I hadn't asked the woman if it was okay to do this. I just bowled right in and did it. And, made sure everything was in packages and the sizes that she could carry. Because the girl was putting like all these cans inside one bag. And people in the line were kind of looking at me, and the woman was kind of looking at me, and the cashier was hating me. And I was like, I don't care, I'm just doing this. And so the woman took her cart and she paid, her thing came to like $36.15. And I thought, I could pay for this whole thing right now, but I don't want to humiliate her. So I just let her do her thing and go out to her cart. So when I went outside to my vehicle to go home, she happened to be parked on the other side, like just, her back end was to my back end kind of. And she saw me coming out and she said, I just want to thank you. It kind of took me by surprise, but I want to thank you for helping me in there. And I said, no problem. And she went into she was trying to find money in her wallet to give me. And I was like, no. What you need to do today is to do something really nice for somebody. And just go do something nice for someone. And that is payment enough for me, right? People have forgotten how to be kind to one another. They've forgotten how to be nice, to step outside what we think is okay. We will sit there and watch someone struggle, but we won't get involved. Why? So Leanna says, I feel that, though, that some choices we make are meant to teach us lessons to make us better people. Yes, but some of the choices that we make should not hurt other people. Okay, unless it's like, let's say it's a choice like, you're having a divorce and, clearly people are going to be hurt. People are going their separate ways. Somebody dies, that's grieving, people get hurt. But for the most part, we say and do things to hurt other people, sometimes intentionally. If you're doing it unintentionally, you're doing it for your own best interest, like really for your best interest, and someone takes that and gets hurt by it, we can't be responsible for what everybody else feels. But to go to war with a country, to kill people, to hang people because of their color, to treat them like second-class citizens, third class, like worse than you would treat your dog, to do that kind of thing. What is that teaching us? I don't understand what that's teaching us. That's nothing I actually want to learn. Because the people that these things happen to are still hurting, are still carrying the pain of their ancestors. I don't understand what that's about. I don't understand why that was a good thing that we did, that was done. To treat those people like slaves. I don't get it. I don't get what we learned from that. I didn't learn anything. I learned that we can be assholes. That's what I learned. I didn't learn anything from that. I learned that now people are still segregating. But we're segregating ourselves because we're all from the same place. So yes, some of the decisions we make are meant to teach us. Of course, every decision we make is meant to teach us. But we have to make those decisions based on the highest and the best for everyone. Is this in the highest and best interest for everyone? When I give Reiki, when I am doing prayer, it's always in the highest and best for all concerned. It's not just for that person. And what we have done, or what's been done, so when we go back to like 9/11, we were quick to blame other people. A whole society, a whole religion, when it wasn't, it was a group of people. We think of things that happened like Waco, Texas. We think of cults. People take everything and turn it ugly. People took those old practices of Earth Wicca and turned them into witches and horrible things and hung them and said, and just painted a black stripe across everybody who did anything that was outside the norm. We fear things and then we hurt people. We want things for our personal gain and people get hurt. All we're doing in those decisions that we make, that's how our earth is evolving. Every decision we make is how our earth evolves. So what do we want our earth to become? What do we want this world that we live on to become? A place of hate and segregation and discrimination and hurt and slavery and war? Or do we want to focus more on a place of love and kindness? It's never going to be perfect, but it can be way better. You know, I'm in no way do I believe that we're going to live in a nirvana one day. It'd be nice, but I don't see that happening. But what I do see is a better world, a kinder place to be. Right? A safer place to be, a more trustworthy place to be, a more loving place to be, a place of equality where we're not put aside because of the color of our skin or because the skin we're emitting an odor of the food that we eat, or because we're wearing a burqa, or because, you know, like, people are entitled to their beliefs as long as we're not hurting each other over them. You know, because if your belief is about hurting something, or you're better than someone else, then your belief needs to change, because no one is better than anyone else. Okay, there's no better than. We're all the same. We're all the same. You know, there's people out there that can do wonderful spiritual, have gifts and stuff. Guess what? Y'all can do it. The more love you bring into your life, the more you awaken, the more you practice, the more you clear the things that are in your way. You can do it. We're all from the same place. No one person can do something that someone else can't do. We can all do it. So today I just want to talk about why I'm doing Online Temple. And, the coming teachings are really going to be about expanding our spirituality, about understanding more about it. I'm going to teach you what I know, and I'm going to learn more and teach you that too. So the lesson from today is to just really fill your hearts with love and send it out there. And I'd like to do just a quick meditation to end this, that I'd like you to practice to do that. Okay, that I would like you to bring into your practice to do that. We don't have to go to a special place to worship, to show gratitude to this wonderful energy, this force that has come, that has created us, created the whole universe and every single species, animal, alien that's in it, planet, all of it. I mean, think of the universe. It's all these planets moving in orbits and different galaxies, and different things are happening. And every one of our atoms has like electrons and protons floating around a nucleus. We have thousands and billions and trillions of universes within us. There is so much going on, and you don't have to understand it all. You just have to know that there is so much going on out there beyond what we know. And then that is the coolest thing. That there is so much going on, and to be open to that, to sort of take that box that you've been living in and go, you know what? I'm okay with some of my beliefs. I'm going to keep some of these, but I'm going to throw away the box and allow myself to open up to all the possibilities. And I'm going to start to try and work on taking down my walls and open myself up to love and be okay with that and make space for that, because it feels better. It's so much less draining to love people and be kind to people than it is to be a jerk, to be unkind, to be nasty, to be mean, to be controlling. Those things take actually more energy than it does just to be nice to people, to be kind to people. And it feels good, it energizes you, and it rejuvenates you, it makes you feel good. And this is I'm going to come back to this. I will say God for a moment. Feel good? Take out one O out of good, and it's God. I feel God. I feel God. I feel good. I feel God. And just by saying that to yourself in the hardest moments, I could be, somebody could be having a confrontation with me, or not, giving me a hard time. We all have family members and people in our lives that like to give us a hard time. And always in my mind when this is going on, so I can keep myself in a good place while this is happening, I recite in my mind like a mantra over and over again. I feel good. I feel good. I feel God, and I am one with you. I feel you, and I am one with you. And just that, saying those words, creates this wonderful transformation inside you. Right? It creates this wonderful feeling inside you that is just like, it just gives you strength. So try that mantra. I feel good. I feel God. I am one with you. And you don't have to say it out loud. You could just say it in your mind and just say it a few times over during those difficult times, and just feel the difference. You don't have to do it because I said so. Just try it. Try it and see it. See if it works for you. That's right, Leanna. We all have things to be grateful for. Even in the worst, hardest times of our lives, we have things to be grateful for. I brought up the 9/11, and I remember when that was happening. After that happened, I went out for drinks with some friends after work. These were friends of mine for years. So because I come from that side of the world, my parents do. I got called a sand nigger. And I was like, I started laughing. I was like, what the heck is that? Right? I lost all my friends that day that were at that table. I walked away from them for good. I never turned back because they'd been drinking. They got obnoxious, and that's what they called me. And it's not the words that they called me that hurt my feelings. It wasn't that they had said that term that really doesn't mean anything to me. It wasn't that. It was the fact that they were so ready to hate. How do you hate a whole nation, a whole side of the world because of something that a few people did? You know, and it's even like people do it here all the time. We do it all the time. And I you know, we have to hate this whole country because we're fighting against them. There's really good people there. There's some amazing people there. There's some awesome people there. How do we just hate them because we were told to? That makes no sense to me. I don't see that, because if we hate them, we hate ourselves. Because to hate someone else, you have to hate yourself. There's no other way. If you come from a place of love, you can't hate. It's not possible. You can not stand behind things that some people are doing. You can't hate them. It doesn't. You can't even do it. It's not possible. So to hate others is to hate yourself. To be unkind to others is to be unkind to yourself. Everything you do is a reflection of who you are. So who do you want to see in the mirror? That's really what you got to think about. Who do you want to see when you look in the mirror? I want to be proud of who I see. I want to stand behind that person in the mirror that's looking back at me. I want to love her. So that means I have to act in a certain way. And sometimes people are going to get it, and sometimes people are not going to get it, and that's okay with me, as long as I know that in my heart, good morning, Beth, that I know in my heart, I am acting in the best way that I know how. And every day that grows. Every day I'm like, I could have done better. Next time I'll do it better. I will. I'm okay with what I did, because that was the best I knew then, but I'm knowing more now, and I'm going to make it better. Because I want to end this. I want to be, when I leave this world, it is going to be a better place than it was when I got here. And if we all think that way, that this world will be a better place when you leave than when you got here, then it will be, if we can all think that way, or many of us can think that way, and teach others to think that way. Because this is our home right now, and it needs to be better. It needs to be better. So let's just go into a meditation. My father always told me, never use the word hate. It is a very strong word and will come back to you. He said, always try to replace it with love. Absolutely. There are two main emotions in this world, and every single thing comes from those two emotions. Every emotion comes from those two emotions. So love or hate. Sorry, love or fear. Okay? And all the emotions that come from it. So fear is hate with a mask, jealousy with a mask, envy with a mask, sadness with a mask, right? Control with a mask. It's all based on fear. And fear means you're listening to who? Is that guy on your shoulder? That's the angel's shoulder. Then we got the devil devil's shoulder, right? So I don't like to use the word devil. I'm just using that as an image right now. But for every yin, there's a yang, and we have that yin and yang inside us. The beauty is we have the free will to decide if we're going to go with yin or yang in every different situation. What road we're going to take. But as long as we take it with the intention of whatever decision we make is going to be in the highest and the best for everybody concerned, that's your intention, that you're heading down the right road. And using your emotions as your guidance system. If it feels bad, stop. If it feels bad, stop. You're going down the wrong road. If it feels good, ramp it up, pick up speed. But if it feels bad, stop. Okay? That you have the ability inside you to see if the decisions you are making are good or bad. If it feels bad, stop. If it feels good, 100 miles per hour, get going. All right? Because your emotions are a beautiful guidance system for you. It's like your GPS. Okay, we were given everything we need. We just have to use it. All right? Okay, so I'm going to ask you, good morning, Anna Marie. I'm going to ask you guys all to just close your eyes. Just close your eyes for a moment. We're just going to do a quick meditation here. What I want you to first do is go somewhere in your mind, in your imagination, that beautiful imagination that we used effortlessly as children, where we could be anything, do anything, be anyone at any time. And just go someplace in your mind that is peaceful. Go someplace in your mind, someplace you may have been before. Maybe it was a cottage or a beach you've been on vacation, or some mountainside that you saw sometime, or just someplace you imagine in your mind. But someplace that brings you peace. Someplace that makes you feel good, that makes you feel God. And just allow yourself to be there. And allow yourself to really open up your senses. What do you see when you're there? What do you feel? What do you hear? What time of day is it? Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? Is there a breeze in the air? Is it inside? Is it outside? Just allow yourself to be there. Just take a few moments and really enjoy this place. And I'd like you to think of someone in your life that you love so much. And fill your heart with that love. If you can't think of anyone, then think of Source, think of God, think of that higher power. Fill your heart with that love. And feel yourself just filling up from the tips of your toes to the top of your head with this amazing love. Feel how good it feels. How it just floods every cell of your body. And just breathe it in. Fill up your lungs with it. And how good it feels to be encompassed in love. And now that love is growing, it's coming out of every pore in your body and filling your aura. That energy around you. Our energy around us can go out to at least 66 feet outside of us. Fill it all with this beautiful love. You're just swimming in it. It feels good to be in it. This is a wonderful place to make change. Love is a beautiful tool to make change, to create change. Now imagine from your heart that you can push this love out even further. That in one heartbeat, you can surround the world. Feel that love expand. Feel yourself expand. Until you feel like you're just all energy and you can move out into the universe and move this love with you. Still fully tethered to your body, fully attached to this planet, but allowing your energy to just expand. And in the next heartbeat, having the intention in your mind, knowing that you are without limit and you can do whatever you want, in that next heartbeat, pushing that love out throughout the whole universe. And how good that feels. And you can spend as much time as you like just swimming in love. Take your time. You can stay there as long as you like, as I slowly end temple today. But stay there if you wish. Feel that love. Thank you for coming to my first temple teaching today. And I will see you all hopefully next Sunday as we learn more, as we expand more, as we awaken more. And if this is something that you enjoy today, please let me know in your comments. I really want to hear from you. And have a fantastic day.